Step 0, you're a Scorpio. You are learning about the power of 0. The power of 0 is in time and space, anything is possible. In the power of 0, in the power of God's protection, you can use it that way too. And power of God's protection is like, hold on, I'm going to meditate before I do this. Whoa, you just took time and space with God before you did it. You just protected yourself with God. Hello, my friend and earthly neighbor, and welcome to another fun-filled, fabulous week in 2017. This time, we're in the first full week of March. As we move forward toward the spring, we move backward to past lives. This week, we start a 6-week Venus retrograde, a special transit that happens only every year and a half. And Sensei says this year, you may have a past life love or a past life personality come forward. From my smartphone to yours, keep streaming for your weekly Namaste Today. Welcome to Namaste Today, a spiritual way to begin your weekday. I'm Christopher Witecki, your heartfelt host and your sensei to some serious joy. Welcome back to another fabulous week, my friend. Namaste. Well, this week the tides will turn a little interesting. We have Venus going retrograde for the first time in 18 months. At the same time, Saturn is conjuncting the galactic center. The way I interpret this is, it is now time to pull in and begin the story you were born to live. And in today's tea time, I'll give you some details on the Venus retrograde. But first, let's take a look at today's moods and your zodiac weather. This zodiac weather is from Monday, March 6th to Friday, March 10th. Looking at your 5-day forecast. Well, it looks like Monday and Friday will be the cloudy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, more optimistic. Let's drill down. On Monday, it's cloudy and moody. It's more of a spiritual day as you log in to find your personal spiritual path. On Tuesday, you're sunny and sharp, but there's a grand square holding back all of your business. On Wednesday, it's sunny ambitious. Finally, the world will start to move forward for you. Thursday, it's sunny and creative. You'll be holding space for the new spiritual life you want to create. And on Friday, it's cloudy and dreamy, ending the week in a grand trine. Well, this upcoming week, my friend, is really about finding our peace and taking it to a concept of nirvana. In our next segment, I'm going to give you a look of what you can expect for the entire full week. Taking a peek at the coming week, I coined this week Defining Nirvana. Last week, we were cutting away from our own past life issues, our childhood issues, our lower vibrational issues, our deep subconscious emotional wounds. They usually play out in addiction, sabotage, or just being with the wrong person that hurts us. This week, we finally float away from those lower traumas, and we move away from the drama and toward our nirvana. That's exactly what we're trying to do this week, is define what is nirvana, what is joy, what is serious joy in our life, where is the serious joy? These are the questions of the week. Now, what's interesting is Venus begins its retrograde this week. So for the next 6 weeks, 42 days, we will be in Venus retrograde, which means a past life personality will come forward because Venus is in Aries, and it's likely, or chances are likely, that there'll be some sort of love story change in your love story. You may pull up a different personality in an existing marriage, which shifts the dynamic. You may lose a soulmate. You may gain a soulmate. So as we begin this process of a spiritual do-si-do with our past lives, you are looking for nirvana. Now, in the beginning of the week, it's kind of a spiritual and quiet week. Monday is very quiet. You're going to be just kind of cloudy and trying to figure out where to aim. And this is an intuitive sense. We're being very much guided by fate right now. So it's really just about listening to what your senses tell you and going in that direction. You don't have to get it right. You just have to swim in the right direction. Sometimes it's about what you encounter along the way, not the destination that you were aiming for. All right, especially in a past life fated time. So Monday, you're kind of searching. Tuesday, you're going to make a decision where you go, I think this is where we're going to be, or I'm supposed to go, or I think this is where my nirvana is. And you might play this out in any of your daily life stories, like finding nirvana at work, finding nirvana, at home, finding nirvana in a relationship, finding nirvana in yourself, okay? Once you find it in one of these states of awareness, you'll be able to match it and bring the other states to it. This is how most people figure things out. So you're looking for your nirvana, and Tuesday you go, I think this is it. Now, the beginning of the week, Monday, Tuesday, the moon is in Cancer, so things are very kind of sloshy. Don't expect to get a lot of things done on Monday and Tuesday. And even though you're going to be able to make a decision on Tuesday, you're not going to be able to go anywhere because there's a grand square on that day, and that's going to lock everything down and not keep you from actually moving your story. So the story moves on the inside by making some decisions and some clarity. Then come Wednesday, the energy really shifts. It really picks up. It gets very sunny. The moon starts in Cancer but then moves into Leo, and action rules the day. So the first step, the first movement, the first note of our story. And really, if you meet anyone this week, if you encounter anything that seems kind of unusual or off, it could be a past life scenario starting to come in now and come into your story. So Wednesday, things start to heat up. On Thursday, you have enough affirmation about where you think your nirvana is, and you're going to be ready to hold space to manifest and make this happen. The moon will be in Leo, so you'll be really charged up. You'll be feeling really good about things, and Mercury's at step 21 when it starts to get fun. So your mind is really opening up to great possibilities. On Friday, it actually goes into the clouds again. So after all this creating and all this fun, you emotionally go into the clouds. The moon goes into Virgo, and suddenly things become very real. So to put Monday through Friday in a nutshell, it's really just a whole week of swimming around in Pisces circles, you know what I mean, to feel what you like, put your thumb on it. As soon as you think you have your thumb on it, okay, now things get kind of cloudy again. But here's where it's leading up to. It's leading up to a quantum full moon on Sunday. We have a full moon, which will be at step 22 Virgo, as far as the moon's concerned, and step 22 Pisces. So whatever this decision is that you make during the week, whatever you come to as far as where you think your nirvana is, this Sunday the universe pulls you away from the old plan and pushes you towards the new plan. So you basically have about a week to decide what your concept of nirvana is. Now, can you screw this up? Heck no. Okay? We're kind of in a faded period right now. It's kind of hard to screw up. Even people who try to screw up, fate picks you up and puts you back. You know what I mean? Like, there are some things that I think we were born to live. And that's really the topic of our tea time. So go steep yourself some tea, and let's have our weekly tea time. Hello, my friend, and welcome to our tea time. Today's tea time topic is retro Venus. The planet Venus has gone into retrograde. And out of all the planets that go into retrograde, Venus is the one that goes in it the least. So it's a very unique transit. And when Venus goes into retrograde, our past lives open up, and we have exchanges of faded love. So love that is faded. And that can be love to a pet, to a person, to a soulmate, to a twin flame, you name it. This is kind of how God interrupts and changes the free will football game, is through Venus retrogrades. And I have been witness, I got to tell you. I'm going to give you the dates of the last two we've had. Write them down, because for me, in both of the cases, I had heavy situations where past life lovers came back, and not only did they come back, but somehow through a reading or something, I found out they were past life. It's one thing to meet somebody. It's another thing to know right away that you've known each other forever in time. So they're always very powerful times. And I can't say they've always been good times either. I've had some hard times during a Venus retrograde because I had some serious karma. So this retrograde is going to go from March 4th, 2017 to April 15th. All right. It starts at step 13 Aries. So we start to unzip energy around our ego, and it ends at step 26 Pisces. So that means we're going to literally destroy an ego that we've been operating with. And it's not destroy as in has to get beat up. Destroy as in it will be disassembled. Like you will take it apart. You will decide to take it apart. And then Venus goes to 26 Pisces, which means at that point you will reconsider and make a new commitment to a new spiritual direction. So no matter what spiritual direction you're on now, there will be a modification, I argue, by the end of the Venus retrograde. And that end, again, is April 15th. Now, we had the solar eclipse a week ago that cleared our karma. And you can see God working on us, almost like a massage therapist. First, clears our karma, get rid of all the old stuff. As soon as it's clear and we're kind of floating along and we figure out what our nirvana is, Venus goes retrograde. As we start to figure out our nirvana, Venus goes retrograde and starts to bring back this past life story. But what makes this more compelling to me than most Venus retrogrades is Saturn will be conjuncting the galactic center at the very same time of the retrograde. And as I've said, Saturn conjunct galactic center is the story you were born to live. Now, Saturn conjuncted the galactic center back in January 15th, 1988, but Venus wasn't retrograde then. It was just crossing over. This time it is conjuncting and Venus is retrograde, meaning we are pulling out some sort of past life rabbit out of the hat. So it's a pretty powerful time. These retrogrades happen every 19 months. This is basically a fated period for love stories. So any kind of love story changes. If you have a change with your spouse, a new person comes in, soulmates will return during this transit, and soulmates will leave during this transit. So there's a lot of do-si-doing going on with people. Now, mark this on your little notes. The last time we had Venus retro was July 25th, 2015 to September 6th, 2015. All right? That was in Virgo and Leo. And I absolutely know exactly the past life people I met at that time, 100%. In fact, that's still part of what my journey is now, is the past life people that came during that particular time. The time before that, which was probably the darkest Christmas in history for me, was December 31st, 2013 to January 31st, 2014. So in that one, in 2013, I distinctly remember really some of the darker characters of my past lives coming forward and me having to realize this is not how I want to live or not how I live anymore. And that was pretty powerful too. So if you want to know the last time we had Venus retrograde, hey Bella, Bella's picking up on something. If you want to know the last time we had Venus retrograde in Pisces like this, it was March 6th, 2009. We have little ghosts next door. And in March 6, 2009, that was a time when karma pulled you in as well, where you were pulled into some sort of past life personality. It was also a time that ended in Aries, so you would have also created a new character at that time and also wanted to reinvent yourself. So look at March 6, 2009. Now here's what to expect. Belle's off to hunt. I love that about her. First of all, you're going to find that you shut off from receiving the way you used to receive. That's one of the first things of Venus retrograde. So basically, God takes away your baba. So whatever you've been using as your security blanket, as your baba, whatever you've been receiving from, that usually goes away and dries up. And that forces people to start looking for a new way to receive or to feel fulfilled. All relationships change. Long-term, short-term, everyone, they all kind of change. Sometimes people's income source will change during Venus retrograde, okay? And sometimes people's soul support community will change too. I've had entire groups of people leave in a Venus retrograde, and I didn't get a new group right away. I was kind of alone for a while, but it was just all part of a group karma and a huge lifetime I had. So sometimes you lose a neighborhood too. Basically, how you receive from the world everywhere is changing. You used to receive from this love or this money or this place or this neighborhood or this group, and you're going to end up changing it during the 6-week retrograde. And really, the other thing that changes you should know about too is like you tend to change what you're open to. So before Venus retrograde, you might be like, oh, I'm never going to try that. I'm never open to living in Florida. And then the Venus retrograde, you're like, you know what? I'll give it a try. You know what I mean? Like, and you give it a try, and you actually feel, and boom, there you meet someone, the love of your life, blah, 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 right? Something like that. So you end up finding yourself open to new things. And if you find yourself open to do something, you should definitely go for it and give it a try and see what's at the end of this rainbow. One thing that's going to happen is an old personality of yours is going to go. An old part of your personality is going to go. Now that we have cleared up this base level of karma, the old characteristics, the old defenses, the old you, lots of the old you is going to go, and a new personality is going to come forward. And also with that personality will be a new spiritual mission. So you're going to feel like you have a new mission and a new direction, or your spirit feels fulfilled, I believe, around April 15th. But if you look at the full retrograde in its full effect, it won't be until May 15th that you're probably feeling normal again, just so you know. So this is a huge spiritual coma. Now, just some quick do's and do nots. Do not, during the Venus retrograde, get married. Okay, if you already had it on the books, it's fated. You have to get married. But I would not run out and get married. I would not make big financial investments right now. This is not a time to throw money at something. A lot of con men get away with stuff in retrogrades. You can go ahead, absolutely, and date. You can go ahead and meet new people. That's what it's all about. You can absolutely try new things you never tried before. Those are all great things in a Venus retrograde. You might go down, one thing that does happen is you might go down a road with an old soulmate one more time. So sometimes people will bring back an old lover just for the retrograde, and then they'll be like, no, now I realize why I don't like blah, 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 and it ends for good. So sometimes do one more with the old flame, and you may start or launch something that's fated. Venus is birth, and what Venus is doing is changing the birth to backwards. So if there's something fated to be birthed right now, something fated to come on the planet, it will arrive during this time. So it's a very powerful time. Basically, my simple advice is you just got to go with the flow of this next 6 weeks and try to respond differently than you normally do to situations. Open up. Give yourself a chance to receive from new situations. See where it leads you. One thing's for sure, a Venus retrograde is fated. It's not designed to necessarily hurt you. It's designed to awaken you. And Bella's back for the closing. I love it. Well, friends, I have a couple of announcements. One is that I'm going to be at a Conscious Life Expo in Denver. It is the Mind, Body, and Spirit celebration. Whew, they have it out of the normal order. Body, Mind, and Spirit, celebration in Denver, Colorado. That'll be St. Patrick's Day weekend. Come on down if you want and say hello to me. I'll be giving out big hugs. Also, I want to put out there that I'm going to do a special series here in the next 3 weeks. Because I'm launching my new Serious Joy service in the month of March, so talk about Venus retrograde things, I guess this was destiny and fate because it took me this long to do it. So I find myself like, wow, interesting, I guess this was fated. I'm going to be working hard on my new Serious Joy launch, which will be during the month of March. And so I'm going to take away the zodiac weather 4 days a week that I've been doing and just do a special series on the 11 steps to Serious Joy. Many people have asked me what the steps are and how to define them. So really it's going to take 3 weeks to do all 11 steps and an intro. And I'm going to pull a little of my work away from the zodiac weather and whatnot and focus on these steps. So starting tomorrow on Tuesday, we will start with the first in this series. And this will be a great time to learn. I figure retrograde, let's go back and review some of our consciousness, right? I'm also holding a reading sale right now. If you buy 30 minutes, you get 15 minutes free. And the last thing I'll point out is if you want daily guidance like I did in my zodiac weather before, and it'll probably be back, you can try my personal sensei service. It's fabulous now and it's about to get a lot better. There's details about my service at seriousjoy.tv. I'll be with you every step of the retrograde. Okay, my friend. Well, I'm so grateful to be of soul service. Thank you so much for your comments. Thank you for posting me on your Facebooks and Twitters. Thank you for sharing me with your friends. I think we have a wonderful community of light. Don't forget we have a wonderful club where you can meet our community at namastetoday.club. Remember this week as you slip into retrograde that Sensei loves you and to live, love, be.